Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host, John. And today, for our third year anniversary special, we are talking about Dune Part 2 to kick this week off. Um, Before we get started, if you're new here, this is a spoiler video. So if you don't want any spoilers, leave now and then watch the movie and then come back when you've seen it. Unless you don't care, then stay if you want to. But yeah, I don't think there's any point in asking if you were excited or if I was excited. It is Dune Part 2. It is directed by Denis Villeneuve. And yeah, it's filled to the brim with some of the best stars on the planet. So how could you not be excited? Unless you didn't like the first Dune, which is valid. But like, yeah.
The question is, how can you not like the first Dune? But like, anyway, yeah, I mean, everybody had their opinion because it's a little too slow. That's usually the complaint when what people have with like Denis Villeneuve's, like how he directs stuff.
Yeah.
It's always, oh, it's a little too slow with Blade Runner, say Arrival. Um, Sicarios thankfully hasn't succumbed to that because it is pretty intense in itself.
Yeah.
But my opinion, yeah, okay. Comparing this Dune Part 2 compared to the first Dune, yes, I would say the Dune one is kind of slow.
Yeah.
It's mostly exposition, character development, and even the choreography hasn't been like refined yet.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's really good. It's just once you see the second movie, you're like, oh, they changed something with the choreography, which is
Yeah. Chef's
oh
kiss.
my lord,
Yeah. And this
so good.
is a very long movie, so again, we won't go beat by beat, just the highlights. But like, the beginning is like once you see it, you're like, I am in for a visual and auditory masterpiece. Because the sound and the visuals, you're like, yeah, this is definitely a Denis Villeneuve movie, and they got the
Oh my lord.
cinematographer of the Batman to do this. That's why it
I,
looks
I
so.
will say, if you have the fucking chance to watch in the movie theater, please do.
Yeah.
Because every wah or like ooh, or whatever horn sounding vocals you'll hear on the side,
Yeah.
it is so worth it to watch it in the theater. I paid extra just to get like the good seats, and holy shit, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Especially when a movie's almost 3 hours. Is it 3 hours?
2 hours and 45. So
Almost 2 hours.
it's bordering that. I do like the fact that the first hour is just a love story between Paul Atreides and Chani, and that's what you get. You get a love story, a better written young adult novel than a lot of the movies we got that are young adult novels, and you buy the chemistry between
Yeah.
Zendaya and Timothy Chalamet. And you're like, all right, I buy this chemistry. I buy that he wants to be ferment. I buy that he wants to learn the ways of their people, and yeah, it literally. Once again, I do like the fact that it literally picks it up right where the last one left off. So you can, if you get like the Blu-ray or 4K, you can just switch it after the end of Dune Part 1 and you have a 5 hour marathon of Dune.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the fact that they're on this path. Like once um, Lady Jessica becomes the Reverend Mother, we're on this path of maybe Paul becomes this world's, I don't know, Aaron
Dude,
Yeager. I wonder if,
dude, I was like, oh, I was like, this is very familiar.
yeah, I wonder if Attack on Titan got a lot of
A
inspiration
lot of
from,
info.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
like I like okay, me and Enzo gotta admit, we didn't read the Dune books like at all. Like the children of Arrakis or something like that, or
yeah, yeah,
the other Dune books. This is our first. Well, besides the '80s movie, like this is our introduction to it. We like to watch movies. We don't really read books on that.
yeah,
But but yeah, I was like, this sounds very familiar, and
yeah,
holy shit, sure. The first part, especially the opening, where the guys are just getting sniped out of the blue.
yeah,
That shit was awesome. But yeah, we at first it's just him relating with the Freeman and or Furman, I forget how you pronounce it, and him falling in love with Zendaya, and which is what my girlfriend liked about the movie. No, this is her first Dune movie, by the way. Yeah,
okay,
and I'm happy she watched this one. Because like once like, oh yeah, romance, being one with the people,
Yeah.
like your typical Avatar shit. They're like, yeah, yeah. And then Lisan Al Gaid comes along and then fucks shit up. I was like, what
Yeah.
is going on?
I do love the memes of Stilgar, or like every time someone does something, it's like, it's as written. I love the scene when Paul's like, I can't be Muad'Din, and then Stilgar's like, see, he's
No,
so humble, he can't even admit it. You're like,
no, no,
what?
he can't be Lisan Al Gaid.
Yeah.
Because Muad'Dib is the name he gave himself.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's his Freeman name.
yeah,
Lisan Al Gaid is the name that the Freeman gave him.
yeah. I think the highlight of the first hour is him riding the worm, because you're like, I know there's a lot of him in the trailers, so he can't die here. Jesus,
Yeah,
that'd be anticlimactic. But I do love how grand the whole thing is. Like, it seems like this is the end of the second movie. Like, there's a second and third movie in between, and you're like, oh, I feel like we're reaching the climax. And when he rides the worm, I do love the mix of CGI and practical effects. You're like, it's a lost art,
yeah.
but I love it.
My girlfriend was like reading the credits, and I love my girlfriend for that because she likes to like look at it.
Hmm.
Mostly for us like normally we would like just leave.
Yeah,
But she kind of wants to look at it. She's like, oh, who's responsible for these? And she finds out that there was puppeteering, and we were like,
right. And
right? So I was like, good on them. But yeah, that shit went so hard. And I love how when they're like, don't show off, don't do anything flashy.
yeah,
You're gonna humiliate me because I'm your teacher. And it's like, yeah, I won't do anything flashy. The biggest worm comes along, and everybody's like, even everybody in the theater was like, "Oh, fuck!"
yeah. And after this, they again learns the ways and does guerrilla attacks on the Harkonnens' spy supply. And poor Batista is like pissed. Like, he doesn't have a lot to do. He just gets, like, I don't know if it's overacting or if his character is just angry all the time. Like, the guy's like, "Sire, you must rest," and he's like, "I will not rest." And he starts bouncing his head.
Yeah, like Darkness like to kill off very important people in their like,
Military.
yeah. I'm like, can you all stop? Y'all just wasting resources here.
I,
And like, but
I,
yeah, oh my god, I just love it. Like, you see how they have like the breathing holes, like and then they just come out of the ground and then just start stabbing. By the way, people were always like, why don't they use guns? This is in the near future, or like in the distant future. I was like, they do have guns, but at the same time, it just hits different when it's just pure on knife fighting.
right?
And yeah, and there's a thing that I would like to mention later, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, and I do love the scene when the legend of Paul Atreides grows, and then Batista's like, "I'll find him, I'll kill him," and he sees him coming out of the smoke. He's like, "Oh fuck!"
I was like, oh shit, dude! Again, that shit goes so hard. Like,
Yeah,
his man goes into the like this right they like blow up
yeah,
like a side of a mountain, and like they're like coming in. Yeah, we're gonna wage war.
yeah,
Yeah, fuck these guys. Like they come in, and then as soon as his men go into the fog, Freeman come out of it, and we're like, uh, uh, uh.
yeah.
Dave Bautista just runs back,
And
and
then,
like one of the Freemen like catches onto him, and he's scared shitless. And he wasn't even like a main character. He's just a random Freeman that scared the shit out of Dave Bautista. I was
right?
like,
Uh,
nice.
it's causing so much problems that it even reaches the Emperor, played by Christopher Walken, and then it also involves his daughter, played by Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh, yeah.
And then she asked
I didn't
him-
expect. I don't remember seeing.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, in the trailers.
Neither do I. So when I saw him, I was like, "Oh shit, it's Christopher Walken." Hot damn. But like Florence Pugh asked like the Benny Gesserit mom of like, "Is this your doing?" She's like, "Maybe, probably. It might be our fault, but don't worry, we have a second prospect, and that's Fade Rauta, played by Austin Butler." You're like,
Um,
you mentioned once that you hated when movies are like, "Oh, this guy's crazy, he's evil," and you're like, "What does he do?" I don't know. Here, when Florence Pugh is like Fade's psychotic. You see how psychotic he is in the arena scene with like the black sun. He's just going ah! You're like, oh, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, dude. Like, no, because he's supposed to be like the second, like, because they to them, Paul Atreides is dead.
Yeah,
He died in the Harkonnen attack in the first movie, and they're like, well, shit. The entire plan was the for the whole planet to believe that Paul Atreides is Lisan al-Kahid, which is the Messiah
yeah,
of Arrakis. And they're like, okay, we have another prospect. This insane bald dude. And you're like, and he was supposed to, and from what I'm guessing, he was supposed to be the up and coming next Lisan al-Kahid.
yeah.
And he just had to prove himself. Not really. I think that's just like a Harkonnen way of celebrating a birthday. But
I guess.
yeah, and like I love that scene because that's when you knew. I don't know who the fight choreographer was, and I'm gonna be guessing it's the guy that they put him in the arena with. But the Kali, if y'all don't know what Kali is, Pinoy pride. It's a Filipino martial arts where you do, knife shit, and they did it here really well.
Yeah.
It's very clean. It's very, not really clean, like it's clean and messy at the same time. You see a little hiccups and here and there, and you see mistakes, and then, just like in Kali, you kind of don't notice that it's already over
Yeah.
until it's over, and then you're just like, that's it. I was like, oh shit, yeah, he's dead. you know.
I like how one of the arena, like, people try to bring the guy who wasn't drugged back from harming Fade. Fade just like, get the fuck back. I want this. You're like, oh.
Yeah, right. And like it's like Skarsgård's like, what's his name again?
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
The Baron, Vladimir Harkonnen.
But yeah, Vladimir Harkonnen or Harkonnen. I don't know how you pronounce it. But yeah, there's like these weird things at the back that would like hook onto the guy's just to like give the guy like an advantage.
Yeah. And Faye doesn't want that. Like,
Nah.
and then he gets.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I want honor. I want the whole pride of like defeating him at his best.
Yeah.
And
then he gets the conversation that Paul had with the Benny Gesserit, but this time it's the lady who was in Bond, the latest Bond. I forgot the actress name.
She's in Death Stranding, James Bond.
Yeah.
What else? I forgot.
Though I do agree with Jeremy Johns, where I'm like, why do you sound so much like Skarsgård at some points?
Right? I was like, I don't know what it was, but like, shit, what's his name? Austin Butler did an amazing job, just sounding like as if he was related to Skarsgård.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so good.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that shit so much.
Yeah, and then we go back to Paul, and he's having visions of the future as the Messiah, but him being the Messiah causes so much suffering. He even has a vision of his sister, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. You're like, holy
Does this plot remind you of anything?
right?
Attack on Titan.
And then when he gets reunited with Gurney, it doesn't help that Gurney's like, yeah, you should be the Messiah. He's like, but I don't want to. No.
Wanna be. Like, even then, they were like, oh, the Bene Gesserit, the mother, she survived the water of life when, just like as it was written. And he's like, no, Bene Gesserits are trained to do that.
Right.
Even him, he's like trying to disprove, like, I'm not the Jesus.
Yeah.
Like of Arrakis kind of deal. But at the same time, he kind of is.
Yeah.
I love it that they're like, oh no, this is all propaganda. This is all farce. This is all fake. And then he actually becomes it. I was like,
yeah. Also doesn't help that Lady Jessica is spreading the word of Paul. You're like, you're not helping at all.
This girl, yeah, like, because I could have sworn like Lady Jessica was kind of like on a middle ground of like bad and good.
Yeah.
She's like playing the politics, but she cares for her son. Here, I was like straight up, oh, she's here for power.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like they also discovered that the Atreides have like a nuclear arsenal. In my mind, I was like, how does that work in this world? To have a nuclear arsenal, how does that work? Since you have the
I
power.
don't know, but it was such a biggest cheat code. I was like, oh, every Atreides passed that. Like it's like jewelry.
Yeah,
Like each Atreides has a nuclear bomb. It gets passed down.
yeah.
Like
The only
like double it and pass it down to the next guy, kind of deal.
Speaking of things you've heard before, the only Freeman who doesn't buy into this is Chani, and she is what Mikasa is to Eren. She's like, I don't want you to go down this path either. Stop it, please.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, Chani is like has zero beliefs. Even her friends who were like non-believers become believers.
Yeah,
But I gotta give him credit because if you see the feats that Paul Atreides does, it's crazy. The
yeah,
man commands the worms. The man leads an army, and then like, excuse me, sorry. They have like this one attack where he has this amazing speech, and he just launches 3 nukes. I was like, oh fuck, they used it.
yeah. It's like he used the
You know,
cheat code.
yeah, I had 5 goosebumps in like 5 different scenes
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this movie, and like, holy shit, dude. This, I swear to God, this movie is such a banger.
yeah. I got goosebumps too when after Fade bombs the first shelter, and then Stilgar's like insisting like you have to do this. You are the Messiah. Paul's like I don't believe I am. He's like I don't care if you don't believe. I believe. Everyone else
Yeah,
does. Please be our savior. He's like okay.
yeah, I love that scene. It was like pure vulnerability and everything. And yeah, I forgot about that. The Harkonnens bombed their sacred grounds, where
Yeah,
they have like the whole water thing,
yeah,
and they don't even partake in that water when water is like the most valuable thing on that planet.
yeah. That's literally they don't waste any part of the body that has water. You see that in the beginning. You're like Lady Jessica going, oh God, why? That's
Yeah,
gross.
and then it was like, wait, you can't do that.
uh,
Yeah, and then, dude, um, like, as soon as they, like, right after they bomb this place, these sons of bitches, they're like, these are horrible people. Paul Atreides straight up disrespects them by, like, summoning, like, right there, there's this mercenary group, like, this, I don't know, the royal family army
yeah,
with with the Harkonnens.
yeah,
And then you just see the worms just coming out of the shadows. I was like,
yeah,
oh fuck! And then they just decimate the entire place. And then he stabs Vladimir Harkonnen. I was like,
yeah.
this is absolutely disrespectful.
I love how the Emperor's like, so you didn't notice Paul Atreides, and the guy's like, I, uh, and he's like, you fucking cut him off.
Right?
I do love
I love
that.
that scene too. By the way, like the main like captain of like the army,
Yeah,
like they're like ready up and they go into the fog of war and they never come back.
they,
And you
they,
just see Paul Atreides with a bloody knife. I'm like, why the fuck does this aim go so hard?
yeah, I do love the speech before that when he's with the Furman and he shows his father's string. He's like, I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides. You're like, oh fuck. And before that, Chani's like, please, don't buy into this prophecy. This prophecy is how they enslave us. And Gurney's like, shut the fuck up. You're gonna get
Yeah,
yourself killed.
exactly. Everybody, like, he's not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be the leader. And the only way for him to be a leader is for him to kill, what's his name? Javier Bardem.
Stilgar?
Stilgar. That's the only way for him to become leader. But I love it that he's like, fuck your rules. I don't care. By the way, everybody, everybody's like a non-believer. But you see this guy coming in with a black cloak in the far distance with a worm behind him.
Right?
And everybody's like, look at this guy pretending to be our Jesus. And I'm like, I would straight up believe if I saw that.
Right?
Like, and that amazing shot where he's in the crowd and everybody's just crowding him. And he's the only person in black.
It's such a sweet
That shit was,
shot. Yeah.
oh my god. Everything just goes so hard.
Yeah.
And then he has that speech where he's like, I'm Paul Muayi, the Atreides. Bisa na game. And I'm like, oh.
Long live the fighters, and they all charge the Sadokar, the Emperor's army. That yeah, they
Yeah.
get decimated. I like how some Sadokar are still like on guard when the worms come up. I'm like, what do you think you're gonna do, homie?
Yeah, man. I was like, go ahead. Like, do what you can.
Yeah,
By the way, we forgot to mention, though, he does partake in the water of life.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
how he gets to see his sister, and I'm like, that's fucking Anya Taylor-Joy. What the fuck?
Once you get here,
Yeah, right? I'm like, I don't remember seeing you in any of the trailers. Jesus.
which is good. Which is good. I like it. A lot of the characters here, I did not expect in like the movie.
Yeah. And he reaches the Emperor's room, and then he's like, he stabs. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that we found out that Lady Jessica and Vladimir Harkonnen hooked up and had a kid, and you're like, thanks for that visual. Jesus Christ. But what a twist.
Was that it? No, I could have sworn. No, I could have sworn Lady Jessica's like half Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Because she goes up to him and is like, hello, grandfather. So that means she's the daughter of Vladimir Harkonnen.
Yeah.
So I don't think she hooked up with any Harkonnen.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is she? I feel. Correct us if I'm wrong. I think I might have gone that. I'm gonna rewatch it soon, so I'm gonna clear up on that.
Yeah, but it is cathartic and satisfying to see Paul kill Vladimir after he saw poor Oscar Isaac be paralyzed by him. You're like, ah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yes.
you know what? Kill all the Sadokar too. They killed my family. Fuck them.
Yeah.
No.
That
No.
is so good.
The one scene I was kind of a letdown was Gurney versus Batista, because I'm like, all right, here we go, and then it's over quickly. I'm like, do these two actors never get a satisfying fight here or in Infinity War when you're like, all right, Drax is gonna get revenge on his fan? It never happens.
No, it doesn't. I guess it is a tad bit cathartic, but like, for sure they didn't want to spend a whole like scene
Yeah,
on Gurney's like invasion of like the Harkonnen base.
yeah,
But yeah, it is a little bit of a downer because you see the choreography, you see everything, and I kind of just wanted to see other characters do it.
yeah. I just want to see
Like we see Zendaya do it so fucking well.
yeah, I just want to see the beefiest boys brawl it out for a bit. Other than just a few seconds, you're like, that's a bit disappointing, but oh well. And like,
Yeah.
since the Emperor did give his blessing to kill all the Atreides, Paul wants blood, and the Emperor's like, I like your father, but he ruled by the heart, and the heart's the weakest, so that makes your father a weak man. And I'm like, are you sure you want to tell Paul this right now, you idiot?
Like really, you do know you're on the losing side here, but it doesn't matter if you're emperor or not.
Yeah,
Wait, is this the scene where
Paul.
like
And,
he's like confronting the emperor?
yeah, and then
Ah, yeah.
he's like, choose your champion, and then Faye's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm right here, Atreides, and Paul's
I
like,
love. Oh me, I love. See, it's all over TikTok now um, where like one of the Bene Gesserits is like, "Careful what you say, Paul Atreides."
Silence!
I was like, ooh,
damn.
wow.
I'm glad I didn't see that.
Another goosebump moment. I was like, oh shit.
I'm glad I didn't see that in the trailer, because I was like really caught off, like, Jesus Christ. Now you
Yeah.
know how Paul felt in the last movie where she's like, come here, sit down, and now he's like,
Yeah.
silence. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I love it that he's so OP now.
Yeah,
Like this guy has so much, and then like he comes along and like he fights
Fade.
Fade, and dude, I don't know how Danny Villeneuve did it, and also props to the choreographers. But I straight up thought, I was like, is Paul gonna lose?
Right?
I was like, I was at the edge of my seat. I was like,
I was like, this movie's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we were like 2 hours and 43 minutes in. I'm like, how is this movie gonna end? Jesus.
right. I was like, is he gonna die?
Yeah.
Like, is somebody gonna take over? I don't know.
I don't
But
know
yeah.
how your theater reacted, but in mine, everybody was just like,
Dude, me, my girlfriend, and my friend who I was watching with, we're all just like, Oh shit! My girlfriend knew nothing about Dune, but even her, she was like, "Is he gonna make it?"
Yeah. Oh,
Actually, she was like this. She was like, "Is he gonna make it?"
I also before that like Paul tells Johnny like I will love you as long as I breathe, and the audience is like, "Oh," and then he right away goes, "I will take your daughter's hand in marriage, Emperor," and you're like, and the audience went, "Huh?"
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But dude, and like, and you see Shawnee just like straight up like disappointed, and he was like, "Okay, fine, fight this guy if you want to have my, you know, fight my champion if you want to have my daughter's hand in marriage,
Again,
and if you want the throne."
choreography is chef's kiss for that fight.
Dude,
Yeah.
choreography was chef's kiss for every fucking scene that
Yeah.
there was a battle, like Shani Zendaya like going. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was CGI or like stunt double, but that shit was sick.
Yeah.
And like, I love the tactic of coming out of the ground and just, you know.
I do love
Yeah.
like Fate does get the best of Paul, and I'm like, how are we gonna end this? Then Paul tricks him, and then Fate just like, it is what is it, and just dies.
Yeah, but he does that thing that he did with Gurney.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did the same tactic that he used for with Gurney. And again, I love that. He's like, "May my blade chip and shatter." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then like Austin Butler with his sexy voice, I was like,
Ooh. And then it ends, and the Emperor's like, fuck.
Mhm.
I'm good.
He like puts out his hand. He's like, I'm like. Again, by the way, I don't know if you guys kind of got it if you saw the movie, but clearly we all know who the real bad guy is.
Right? You're like,
Yeah, and we were just like, I was like, but at the same time, it's just cathartic, you know. And just like, yeah, you son of a bitch.
yeah. Like, all hail Paul Moideen Atreides Jaeger, you know?
Yeah.
But again, after the movie, I was like, I really think the creator of Attack on Titan was like, you know what? I'll make Dune just with naked giants. Why not? You're like,
Why
sure. Instead of
Or I guess
worms.
you could say the naked giants are like the worms.
Yeah, exactly.
And oh my god, no. Like the spinal fluid is the water of life.
Right?
Oh my god.
And then Paul, it ends with them going to war, and you're like, cool. We are an hour and 45 minutes in. 2 hours and 45 minutes in. I'm like, alright, let's see how they. Directed by Denis Villeneuve. Ah, fuck.
Right, like I want to. My girlfriend wants to watch the first movie. We did right after, and now we're like, we wanna read the book. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna do an audiobook because I can't read.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what Chani's future is. Like, let's just follow kind of the Attack on Titan
Yeah,
thing.
but I rewatched the first one, and there were visions of like them returning to
Caladan.
returning. Yeah, and like he has Shani in hand, and he's with his sister. So like, oh no, his sister wasn't there, but like, there were some visions in the first one where I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah. So, without further ado, what do you rate Dune Part 2?
Man, homie, you already know it's a 10 out of 10. This movie kicks ass. It is so good. Just seeing a single man like come in and command an entire room. Like sure, he'll be in a room filled with non-believers, and then he will pretty much brute force his way to making them believe, and then everybody's just like, he's the guy. Like we gotta follow him now. And like them chanting his name also, I was like, yes, I love this. His name scours throughout the universe, and everybody's like, who is this Muad'Dib?
Yeah.
And then they find out it's Paul Atreides, and I'm like, fuck, he's alive.
Oh,
Again,
shit.
it always goes hard. Him walking out of like the fog of war with a cloak on, or him coming to a meeting with the worms behind him. There's so many times where I was just like, I need a like. You have like that post-nut clarity kind of feeling, like, oh fuck, yeah, that shit is good. Yeah, like.
uh,
That's how good this movie was. And holy shit, this cements the fact that Denis Villeneuve is my favorite director of all time. Sorry, yeah, sorry. I know I love Jurassic Park, but like nothing has made me feel the way
yeah,
I felt with Denis Villeneuve, and I can't wait for 2 and 3. And from what I'm hearing, they're gonna take a little bit more from the books.
mm,
Like I don't know if they're gonna squeeze it all into one movie, but I think there are gonna be a bit more movies
yeah,
continuing Paul Atreides like lineage. Because sorry for the spoilers, he does have kids.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for that.
yeah. Yeah, same. I can't see me giving this movie anything lower than a 10 out of 10 because this is one of the best movies of our generation. This is like our what? Our Empire Strikes Back, our Return of the King, our Godfather 2. It's one of the best movies of our generation. And like it's only once in a while that a movie like this comes along where you're like, God damn, if ever I have a family in the future, I will definitely show my kids this when they're the right age, of course,
Yeah,
and be like,
because we don't really want them to think like genocide is great.
this is why I'm showing them Attack on Titan when they're when they're in the right age as well, you know,
Mhm.
um,
And they'll be like, "This is straight up Dune."
right? But yeah, I do agree. Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite directors working today, modern directors. He's never had a miss. I've never seen a movie where I'm like, that was kind of disappointing.
Neither am I. You know,
Yeah,
like Sicario 1, Sicario 2, Blade Runner, and then like Arrival and the Enemy. Like they're all good.
yeah. And you're like, I can't wait to see what he does next. He's one of the few directors where just his name alone, I'm like, all right, I'll watch the movie. Um,
Yeah, he is somewhat Christopher Nolan, but even Christopher Nolan has like misses.
yeah,
Denis Villeneuve hasn't.
yeah. Like cinematography is great. I forgot the guy's name, which is a shame because he does such great work. Again with the Batman, now does
We'll
act.
put his name here in his face.
Yeah, acting is like again like the choreography, chef's kiss. Like what can you expect with a cast like this from like Batista to Christopher Walken to Timothy Chalamet to Zendaya and of course Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, and like god damn. But yeah,
By the way, a little shout out Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer,
Holy shit!
another banger.
I music has never driven me to a point where I'm like, I want to have my own army. You know, like I want to have I like I straight up my girlfriend lives far away, but as soon as I dropped her off, I immediately played the dude's soundtrack on the way home, and I just straight up. It's like I am what, dude. I am Musan Al Qaid.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that has been our video on Dune Part 2. What's your guys' favorite Denis Villeneuve movie? Is it this, Sicario, the first Dune, Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal? Whatever it is, please comment down below. If you like what you see, please like our video, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload. Next, we're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, I am Enswolf on Letterboxd, and Zoe does voices on TikTok. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JomGeom_ on Instagram. That is my article.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.